One of the most crucial questions of the 21st century is how can we balance supplying our ever-growing energy demand whilst being environmentally sustainable? Following basic economic theories, when demand rises, so does the supply. The three main metrics that fuel energy demand are population growth, economic growth, and the Global Human Development Index. As each of these components grow, so does energy consumption. Since the industrial era, humanity's energy demands have been met through traditional sources such as oil, coal, and natural gas. These sources are widely known to have a negative effect on the environment. Increasing consumption of fossil fuels directly results in an increase in carbon emissions and global climate change. Another limitation to fossil fuels is that they are finite. According to M. King Hubert's theory of peak oil, there exists a point in time where the maximum rate of fossil fuel extraction will be reached. Certain technological advancements can increase the point of peak oil, but the system is still ultimately finite. One of these innovations is hydraulic fracturing, commonly referred to as fracking. This unconventional extraction method is becoming popular as a viable solution to expand the supply of oil and gas. Hydraulic fracturing is a method designed to stimulate the production of natural gas wells by fracturing specific rock formations and increasing the extraction rate. Shale rock formations are often targeted for hydraulic fracturing, as they contain trapped gas which is released and captured during the process. Wells are drilled vertically and horizontally to create a path to the target rock formation. Liquid containing chemicals and other additives is pumped through the well at a very high pressure to create fractures in the rocks. Once the process is completed, part of the liquid will stay in the ground and part will return to the surface where it must be adequately disposed. This new method allows natural gases to be extracted at a greater rate while unlocking access to otherwise inaccessible natural gas reserves. Fracking presents several pros and cons. Vertical drilling continues to a depth called the kickoff point. This is where the wellbore begins curving to become horizontal. One of the advantages of horizontal drilling is that it's possible to drill several wells from only one drilling pad, minimizing the impact to the surface environment. The process of developing a well can take from 3 to 5 months, 3 weeks to prepare the site, 4 to 6 weeks to drill the well, and 1 to 3 months of completion activities. This 3 to 5 month investment can result in a well that will produce oil or natural gas for 20, 40, or more years.
However, fracking is also associated with several considerable risks. The primary risk consists in the contamination of drinking water sources. Fracking not only consumes large quantities of fresh water, but in addition, the water is subsequently contaminated and is highly toxic. The contamination is so severe that the water cannot be cleaned in a treatment plant. Even though the danger is known and theoretically could be managed, sources in the USA have already been contaminated due to negligence. No one yet knows how the enclosed water will behave in the future, since there have not yet been any long-term studies on the subject. The chemicals used in fracking vary from the hazardous to the extremely toxic and carcinogenic, such as benzol or formic acid. It is known that there are about 700 different chemical agents which can be used in the process. Another risk is the release of greenhouse gases. The natural gas recovered by fracking consists largely of methane, a greenhouse gas which is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Natural gas is less harmful than coal when burned, but nonetheless the negative effects of fracking on the climate balance are overall greater. Firstly, the fracking process requires a very large consumption of energy. Secondly, the drill holes are quickly exhausted and it is necessary to drill fracking holes much more frequently than for classical natural gas wells. In addition, about 3% of the recovered gas is lost in the extraction and escapes into the atmosphere.
So how is fracking and its expected benefits to be assessed when the advantages are balanced against the disadvantages? When properly employed, this technique offers a short to medium-term solution for meeting demand with lower energy costs. But the long-term consequences of fracking are unforeseeable, and the risk to our drinking water should not be underestimated. When it comes to the Canadian government, mainstream political leaders have very little to say about fracking. Stephen Harper and the Conservative Party took 3 years to present a commissioned inquiry into hydraulic fracturing and have no plan to slow the fracking development or take a regulatory power from the provinces. The Liberal Party of Canada says nothing concrete about fracking in their platform and say only that more research should be done before further expanding the fracking industry in Canada. The NDP goes one step further and says that they will push for the mandatory disclosure of fracking fluids and promise to examine fracking in light of the Canada Water Act and other federal legislation, but does not commit to slowing the development of fracking or conducting more research. The Green Party is the only political party that directly opposes fracking, and has included in their platform that they hope to place a moratorium on fracking until its practices have been proven safe. On a global scale, many countries have currently banned hydraulic fracturing, including France, Germany, and Ireland, citing, amongst other reasons, water contamination and methane gas leakages as the cause. While fracking aids Canada's economy, the question now is, are the benefits of fracking worth the damage to the world's water systems, atmosphere, and tectonic structure?
There's traffic in the sky and it doesn't seem to be getting much better. There's kids playing games on the pavement, drawing waves on the pavement, Shadows of the planes on the pavement, It's enough to make me cry.